All right, so I'm going to take a quick little interruption in the music history because I want to spend a second talking about the new video because there is some confusion out about the video. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I put this out right after I ended that Today in Music, those posts. The two are similar in the fact that they're both about music, but this video is completely different, okay? A number of years ago, I put out my training program where I basically just released this, show you all the 16 steps that I teach my DJs. In this, I included the PowerPoint of how I teach music history. And a number of people have said to me through the years, Mike, that's the one part of training that could be just videoed, and this way I could show it to my trainees. I don't have to take the time to do it. So finally, this spring, I sat down and did that, or stood up, I should say, because that's me. This is basically the look and feel to it. There's no audio on this. Where I am, my wife hated me because I said, honey, how's your handwriting on the chalkboard? She said, great. And I gave her like 19 pages of notes. Yeah, Kelly was not happy with me that day. Yeah, look at it. That's just one genre. Look at all the work she did. But so this is the way the video is set up. I basically, and I'm showing you the genres and the artists and the songs that I talk about, or the numbers of them anyway. And this is how the video lays out. So especially if you are training a new DJ, okay, like that ad said beforehand, Joe Bunn, if you've got a new DJ and you just need them to learn everything there is to know about music history, you can take the time to do it, or you can purchase my video and break it up into 3 or 4 nights for your trainee. But I would also make the argument that a number of veterans have watched this already. Mitch Taylor gave me great feedback about it and said, Drax, I've learned stuff, or at least was reminded of stuff that I used to know and kind of forgot and stopped knowing and stopped really incorporating. So I have them obviously here today. They're available on my website for $149 plus shipping and handling. You'd save the shipping and handling if you want to purchase today, okay? I want to talk about how this helps us in real life. Okay, I'm going to tell everybody a quick story. Earlier this late spring, early summer, Kelly and I, my wife and I, had that moment where you switch on the air conditioning for the first time in the house. You don't have that because yours is on in Arizona at 12 months. But here in the Northeast, we actually turned the air conditioner off at some point. And then when it finally went, and we turned the air conditioner on and it didn't come on, right? So we called, right. So the first night we slept in the basement because it's ridiculous. We have 2 technicians show up the next day. The first technician looks at our unit in the back, and he comes in and he says, Mike, there's the breaker, a fuse or whatever is blowing on the fan. He goes, I can replace that for about $200 and we'll have you up and running. Great. I've never been happy with the air conditioner in the house, kind of like this room. So it's in the hottest days. So I said, hey, is there anything we could do to improve the air conditioning in the house? And the guy just said, you'd have to make another appointment with another technician. I couldn't tell you. Okay, that's fine. So then technician number 2 shows up. He looks at it. He says, you know what, your immediate problem is that the fuse blew on the back. I can replace that for about $200, but the real problem is that the fan is starting to go. So that fuse will get the fan up and running, but I don't know how long that fan's gonna last. My suggestion would be replace the fuse, the fan, about $700, you won't have a problem with it. Great, I say, is there anything you could look at in this house? He goes, can I get in your attic? Guy climbs up the attic, comes down, he gives me some advice about, your ductwork isn't really big enough to handle a bigger unit, so you could split the house into 2 units, blah, blah, blah. But he showed me that he knew what he was talking about, right? So I had 2 technicians there. One kind of sort of understood my air conditioning unit. One of them I completely confident in. I spent the more money, I went with the second one, okay? So I want to give you a real life example of how knowing your music history can help you either in sales or in customer service, because both are opportunities for us to prove our expertise. So I've asked Carolyn to kind of volunteer. Do we have a second microphone? Caroline's going to be my stand-in bride. Check, check. Check, check. Yeah, give Caroline a big hand. Yeah.
Wait, did Tara use this?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. You don't need the script? You good? You got it memorized?
I think so.
You're going to feed me the one line that you have to, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So here are 2 examples of a conversation that a DJ could possibly have with a bride, okay? We have already gone over a lot of the details of her wedding. I, as the DJ, now get to the point in the conversation where we start talking about music. So I might say something like, so tell me about your favorite music.
We love Motown.
Oh, great. I can play plenty of Motown for you. Okay. So that's example number 1, okay? That's example number 1. Did I do anything wrong? No, I was agreeable. I told her I could play whatever genre she gave me. I told her I could play plenty of. Here's an example of how you can drill down a little bit more in that conversation and prove your expertise, okay? So, tell me about your favorite music.
Oh, we love Motown.
You're so young. How do you even know about Motown?
I'm not that young. Thank you. Oh, my dad always listened to Motown, and I just found a love and a passion for it.
And you know what? I can see why. It's timeless music, right? And as a DJ, it's great because it'll make your dad's generation happy. He'll remember it, and your generation, I'm sure, will recognize a lot of those songs. So it's great. So your favorite artists? Who do you like? Temptations, Supremes, Four Tops?
Oh, I love the Supremes.
The Supremes are great, right? Can't Hurry Love, Baby Love, Stop in the Name. It's like every one of their songs had love in the title. It's perfect for a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
We also love Aretha Franklin.
Oh, the Queen of Soul. She is the
Yeah.
best, right? Listen, her music fits in perfectly with that Motown sound.
Yeah, it does. And I thought I had it memorized.
What do you mean?
I thought I had this last.
No, you're supposed to say, what do you mean?
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh. we'll fix that in post. Well, listen, I don't want to get too technical here with you, but Motown was really the name of a record label in the 1960s that became very popular for producing a lot of this 60s R&B and soul music. And they became so popular, the label became almost synonymous with the genre. Sort of like when copiers became a thing, people would say Xerox. They'd say, hey, can you Xerox this? Well, Xerox is just the name of a copier. Same thing with like Kleenex. You know, some people call a tissue a Kleenex, but it's really the name of a specific product. So Motown, again, not to get too technical, but Motown was the name of a record label. Aretha Franklin was actually an Atlantic Records recording artist, but like I said, her music fits in perfectly, and I guarantee only your geeky DJ would know that, you know?
Wow, you really know a lot about music.
Well,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Was
You're-
there more in the script?
Yeah, you're definitely open for my date,
No, that
right?
was the next line.
Oh.
I do know a lot about music, but it's my craft, right? It's what I mean. If you hire a house painter, they got to know their paint and their brushes and everything else. And as a DJ, I feel like I have to know my equipment, and I certainly have to know my music.
So you're definitely available for my date, right?
Definitely available. Thank you.
Awesome,
Give Caroline
thank
a
you.
big hand. So that's how a conversation like that can take place, and it is an opportunity for you as a DJ to prove your expertise, okay? And Motown was just one example. I can have a conversation like that with a bride about 70s music, about 80s music, about anything except the most obscure. I mean, if she asks me for, Afghanistan folk music, I'm not gonna be able to have that conversation. So I think that's important.